Hello?
Jesus.
Check, check, check.
Mic check 1 2.
Hey guys.
Mic check 1 2. Vaughn. Bro, I'm back in the studio. Is everybody excited about that? That's what I want to know. Or did you like it better when Natalie was holding it down last week? Go ahead and put that in the chat.
That's a horrible question to ask.
Why?
That's a setup, huh?
Yeah, it's like, come on.
You guys, who
Don't make our family choose. You need us vote.
Oh, Matt, you are the man, dude. You are one of the most loving, caring human beings on the planet.
You got a fantastic name, by the way, Matt.
Matt, yeah, we got 2 Matts in the house tonight.
Yeah, we do.
Come on, Chad. Natalie did great.
See, thank you guys. They got my back.
Switzerland. I love this
I'm
group,
dead.
man. How long?
Vaughn said mom and dad need to play nice. That's good.
We do our best around here, you know.
Yeah,
It's
do.
like what would it be if Natalie and I weren't what is it that we do to each other? Harass each other?
Is that what we call it these days?
Harassment, yeah.
Harassment.
Some people say harassment. Now, do you guys say harassment?
No one says hair.
Yeah, psychopaths say
No one says what? That's you,
I've
Chad.
literally just heard you say that.
Now
That's
you're
the first
showing
time
your
I've heard
age.
somebody say that.
See, I like this guy. Matt fits in really good. Julian, do you say harassment out there in no? Okay.
No,
Please, Julian.
definitely not.
Thanks.
There's probably somebody on here who says
I don't think so.
harassment. I've heard it on like CNN.
Never have I.
Never have I. Oh, you want to play that game, huh? Never ever have I. Oh no, yeah, I'm not gonna go.
Said
Is
harassment.
there- harassment. Is your parents on?
I don't see him.
Are my parents on?
I don't see her either.
Somebody wanted to rename themselves? Yeah. Awesome. Well, guys, welcome back to the Tuesday night.
Gang's all here.
Yeah, recover.
If you didn't know, now you know.
Recover out loud. Chad and Natalie show,
That's right.
and it's a great show
Mm-hmm.
for some. Some people we've lost some guests over the years. But
No, we've gained.
we've gained.
Yeah.
Remember that one guy Justin that used to come?
Oh, yeah.
He's been popping up in my feed again.
Oh, he has? Good.
It's Chuck Zamzow. Where's Zamzow?
Where's
Where's
Joe?
Where's Justin at?
Hi, Charlie.
Oh, there's Chuck.
Chuck. Why is his camera off? And
You know,
why is he on page 2?
Let him just, listen.
All right, guys. Let's get this party started. Again, thanks for showing up every Tuesday night. We really appreciate you guys coming and recovering out loud with us. We wouldn't be able to have this meeting if you guys didn't all show up. And on a real serious note, like addiction is a deadly disease, you know. And the reason why this podcast exists is because I lost my son-in-law, Justin, on 9/11 of 2022 to fentanyl. And God put it on my heart to be the voice for the people that had lost their lives and to offer hope to people that are out there struggling, because I know what it's like to struggle. You know, I had some time. I went back out and I struggled and I struggled and I struggled. And I struggled until I gave up all hope. Like all hope. I was done. I wasn't going to come back to the rooms. And I didn't even cry out for God to help me. He just sent his angels in the form of a bail agent and then the Orange County Sheriff's Department to rescue me, you know. And it was a few days after that like I surrendered and I asked God. I was like, God, I don't want to hurt people anymore. You know?
Know that feeling.
Yeah. And I haven't had to hurt people in over coming up on over 8.5 years. You know?
That is good.
Yeah. It's been a blessing. You got anything you want to say to everybody?
I don't think so. Chatty Natty will be quiet tonight.
What?
Boo.
Boo.
And that way you can take it. You can have the spotlight.
All right. Matt.
No complaints from him, huh?
Right?
Take it.
Yeah. He's like, thank God. Hallelujah. Yes. Praise
You'll
Jesus.
You'll start seeing it in the...
She's finally being quiet.
He's
been
wait-
trying to get her to shut it up for.
Yeah, he's been waiting to get back.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael, I hope you're feeling better, dude. I love your sponsor. This dude right
sir.
here is. I mean, I love this guy. He's hilarious already. Fit in immediately when we walk through the door.
Yeah.
Love you, brother. I
So
got a
good.
couple of sponsees on there, so I
Oh,
see you out
really?
there, family. Yeah,
Oh my God, amazing.
love you guys.
I love
Thanks
that.
for tuning in.
All right, Matt, we're gonna turn it over to you.
All right.
You got 20 minutes to share your experience, strength, and hope.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, guys. He said I had an hour and a half. So no, yeah. So first off, the most important fact about me that you should know is my name is Matt, and I'm an alcoholic. And I'm grateful to have that information today, as my buddy Frank says. It cleared up a lot of why and how I drank and got loaded the way that I did, the actions that I took, the feelings and the emotions that I was experiencing. So knowing that I'm an alcoholic today doesn't put me in a hole like I thought it was going to be. It actually gives me a light at the end of the tunnel to reach towards, knowing that there's a lot of people on this journey who have found out that they are alcoholics too, and we all share the same solution. So that's really amazing. I have a sobriety date. It's May 5th, 2016. So I'm a solid 9, as they would say, solid 9 years sober. Second most important day of my life. Thank you guys. First off, thanks my host. First time meeting you guys. Love the aura, love the energy. Love that you talked about, now being sober. I feel that you've stepped into whatever your higher power has as your purpose for right now. I think our purposes sometimes change getting sober, and taking things one day at a time allows us to have multiple experiences that we get to share. So first and foremost, thank you guys for having me here. I guess let's get down to some statistics. So I'm mixed. That's an important thing for me, anyways. I'm half black and half German. My mother and my grandmother came from Germany early 1950s. My mom was a little girl. I think she was like 9 or something. And they came over here to give, my grandmother came here to give my mom and, the future a better life. Things were tough in Germany. She was not on the bad side, I would say. I don't know. I don't want to, if people's beliefs are their beliefs, but she was anti-Hitler, and she had a lot of tough comings up, very poor, made butter sandwiches, had stories about where she had to hide in the closet because people were coming knocking on the door, that kind of stuff. That, to be honest, I never appreciated. I never really looked into, what other people went through, especially my family. I've been selfish and self-centered since I can remember, a little kid, and always had a skewed way of thinking, man. Always had a skewed way of thinking. My dad is African American. He left to go get cigarettes when I was 2, never came back. So I never knew my dad, and it was just me, my mother, and my little sister. I have a little sister. She's a year and a half younger than me, and she is not one of us. And I used to swear that it was my circumstances that turned me into who I am. But early on, before I even picked up a drink, I always felt out of place. I felt a little separated from my fellows, and that started about 8 years old, 9 years old. I remember I was living with my mother, my grandmother, my sister, and I didn't get my period. And I thought that there was something wrong with me, and I knew I had a boy parts. I knew like what it was kind of to like be a guy. I knew that wasn't something that I was supposed to experience, but they were, my sister was 8 years old having her period and stuff like that early, and so they were in the restroom and they would like be talking to each other and like they'd having conversations. What are you talking about? Oh no, this isn't for you, kind of thing, so it was them 3 women, and I kind of felt like isolated, and I think that mentality stuck with me and still a little bit to this day, that everybody else is experiencing something together and I'm always on the outside looking in, no matter what that was, and I used to feel like I never fit in. You hear that a lot. I did some work, I did some inventory, and I found out that I fit in everywhere I go. I don't know about you guys, but if you're a liar and a manipulator and a chameleon on the level that I am, I had no problem fitting in with people, whether that was church, whether that was scholastically, whether that was sports, whether that was the streets. I was always that kid that when I went to my friend's house, their parents always thought like I was the good kid and I was a good influence. I'm very a wolf in sheep's clothing type of person, and I fit in everywhere I went, to be honest. But wearing those masks over and over and over, it was very comfortable and easy to do at first, and then those masks started to get heavier. And then it felt like armor, and then it felt like I was carrying around this whole suit, and the more I was trying to portray somebody different, I knew deep down inside that, I would stay around, and so like I would hop from this group to this group to this group, and I would fit in. But I knew that if I stayed around long enough, you guys were gonna find out who I really was. And I was so afraid of rejection. I was so afraid of not being accepted, and I think that stems back from, my father leaving, thinking that was my fault, thinking that, my mom, she's an alcoholic addict too, rest her soul. She died from our disease, and so I had a lot of fear about, being rejected and not fitting in anywhere, and so I would stay around, and then I would manipulate you, use you, lie, get whatever I could. Even the times that I didn't, like when I just built genuine friendships with people, I could only stay around so long, because once you knew who I was and you were going to figure that out, you were going to want nothing to do with me anyways, so I need to split before that opportunity happens, and so when I was a young kid, that's what it was like. I was a skater, I was a rebel, I was a basketball player. I was a rapper. I was a churchgoer. I went to surf camp. I did all of these things, which I know now is filling that hole that we talk about. That spiritual emptiness that's inside. That at that age, I don't think a lot of people know how to feel. And I was just all over the place. And my mother. My mother was an alcoholic addict, like I said, so my grandmother kind of raised us, when I was 13, my mom went to prison for 7 years, and I saw when I was a little kid, there's a line in our big book actually that talks about it, and it says that our alcoholic life becomes the only normal one. I believe if you're children of addicts or alcoholics, that line may ring true for you prior to picking up a drink. Because the alcoholic life became normal to me, my mom's alcoholic life, watching violence and her putting me and my sister in the car at midnight to go to uncle's house, so she could go pick up whatever she needed to go pick up, and watching my mom have to get resuscitated by the fire department coming, those knocks on the door, the pain that she was causing my family, my dad not being there. I that stuff became normalized. Normalized. And I remember being a little kid and being on my grandmother's lap. That's probably the safest place I've ever felt, sitting on my grandmother's lap. She was the icon of unconditional love, and we'd sit and we watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy and all these shows together. And then there's these two shows that came on Saturday at 8 p.m. that would change my life and my perception forever. And it was Cops and America's Most Wanted, and for what that did for me prior to picking up a drink, right, is that I saw what would happen to you if you were a minority, if you came from a broken home, if there was addiction in your family, if there was these kind of pillars that you would hit, and I hit all of them, So I saw those people on TV, and I knew that's what my life was going to be. I accepted that at an early age, that I drew the short end of the stick, and that was what my life was going to be. And then I would watch America's Most Wanted, and, those people were getting away with murder and stuff like that, But in my head, I'm like, well, I'm not doing that kind of stuff, and you can get away with it. So if these murderers and these people that are doing these crazy crimes can get away with it, then I can get away with whatever I want too. And that was my mentality. I adopted that prior to picking up a drink. My first real drink I was 13 years old, and we played a game called Edward 40 Hands. You're looking like you have no idea.
I've never heard it.
You've never heard of Edward
No.
40 Hands?
No, I've heard of Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, okay. So Edward 40 Hands, we would get 40 ounces and you duct tape them literally to each other's hands. And then you would drink 2 of them, right? And then the last one to finish would get some kind of consequences. And the way that we played is that we punched them in the stomach, and we would make them throw up. That was like the game, and that was my introduction kind of into drinking. So I should have known that there was something wrong there, and I was with my best friends, Stephen and Jonathan, and my buddy Robert and Jessica, and I just needed to beat Jessica because I did not want to seem weak. I could not be the guy that lost to the girl. And
Right.
good news, everybody, I beat Jessica. And Jessica beat Robert, and we beat the shit out of Robert. We punched him in the stomach, and he fell down, and I remember him vomiting, and then we pick him up, and we laughed about it, and it was just that. I didn't have this big aha moment of the lights opening up the first time I drank and feeling this like sense of relief and comfort. Although it was probably there, this was just something that I knew that was going to happen, and I was finally glad that we can start this show rocking, pretty much is what it was, and being a young kid drinking, you can't get alcohol, you have to steal it, I became a really good thief, and I would steal alcohol. The guys that I was hanging around on the streets, is it's funny because when I got into Alcoholics Anonymous, they talked about one day at a time and principles before personalities, and living on the streets, I had no choice but to live one day at a time. There was some principles that we followed, and I lived by that, and it would get me into a lot of trouble. I was in and out of juvenile halls. I got arrested and went to camp when I was 16, got my GED in camp. I got arrested and went to Men's County Jail. I've been arrested in sobriety, not for my actions in sobriety, but because you guys have taught me that we don't regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. And you guys were able to walk me through some things that were in my past that I was able to take care of, things that for me is like that America's Most Wanted mentality is I just run. I run and it's like, catch me if you can. And a lot of the times they didn't catch me and I didn't suffer the consequences. So I thought I was this like invincible kid out there, and the best way, I know we don't have a whole lot of time, so the best way I think I can describe my drinking is if you picture a large lottery ball, right, with a bunch of different balls bouncing around, and on those balls it has events, right, and one of them says you're going to throw up in the bushes. One says that you're going to get stabbed. One says nothing's going to happen. One says you're going to have sex tonight. One says you're going to go see Steve Aoki at Vegas.
Yeah.
Right? And there was all of these things, and I realized later on through the program that when I drank, I could not successfully predict which ball was going to come out of that machine. And for me, the most cunning, powerful, baffling part about my alcoholism is that sometimes that ball with no consequences would come out. And it gave me the illusion that I could control and enjoy my drinking, because here was valid proof that I drank and I got loaded and things are okay. So I chased that. I kept trying to get loaded and make that ball come out. And whether that was, not doing that line, or maybe I don't mix this alcohol with that alcohol, or maybe I shouldn't do Coke, acid, and speed all at the same time, like trying to figure out that formula. We become scientists when we're out there, and for the next 22 years of my life, trying to chase that ball, there was some good times that, my mind likes to only remember, but a lot of that stuff was, I ended up homeless, living on the streets, living on the wash with my buddies. I was in and out of jails, failed friendships, failed relationships, internal sickness, physical sickness. I remember going to EDC at Vegas, and I realized that, my drinking started to get in the way of my drinking. That was one of the big revelations I had, because I would always be the type of person that could like pre-game when we're going somewhere and like, we're going to do a little bit, we're going to get there, and then it's going to be the grand thing, and then we're going to wind down with a little bit more. And I just started going hard before I even got to there. So we went to EDC, and all of my friends went into EDC, and I caught alcohol poisoning. So my drinking started to get in the way of my drinking and having fun, you
Yeah.
know, and there was consequences because of that, you know, and I can remember those consequences that I did not like, you know, especially early on in my drinking, which was like getting arrested and the cops driving me home and my mom pointing me out of the cop car like, yeah, that's my son, or when my grandmother would catch me stealing from her purse, or my sister wondering when I was coming home, you know, and I just poured alcohol all over those consequences, you know, and if you do that enough, those consequences start to become inconveniences. You know, they were inconveniences for me. I was mad that my grandmother was locking up her purse better because now I had to do more work to get money to go out there and get what I wanted, you know. My mom had no right to tell me what I could do and what I couldn't do because look at the life that you're living. Look at what you've done to us. You know, my sister, it doesn't matter that I'm not there, you know, you're the favorite. And she wasn't, she was just following the rules, you know, but I thought she was like getting everything that I was deserved, you know. And so I just had these resentments and this anger. And, you know, on November 1st, 2015, I was in a felony hit and run police chase car accident in the city of Azusa. And my sobriety date isn't until May 5th, 2016, you know, and but I started to feel those consequences come back a little bit, you know, and I realized that, like, man, my drinking is really causing problems. You know, I wasn't an alcoholic, but I'm like, my drinking's causing a lot of problems. So I reached out to somebody at my work, and they got me into a sober living May 5th, 2016, you know, and I came there with the same mentality that I had on the street, which was like, I did my dirt, is like I fly under the radar, you know, and the less you know about me, the better, you know. So they told me to get a sponsor and do commitments and get all these things, and I really didn't want to, but I saw what was happening to the people in my sober living who weren't, you know, and they always had the spotlight on them. So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do whatever you say. I'm gonna fly under the radar, and then when I want to dip out of here, I'm gonna go, you know. And because I got a sponsor, you know, thank God for strong sponsorship. You know, he met me every single week, and we went through the steps. And I hit my bottom in Alcoholics Anonymous. We got to that fourth step, you know, and I got to the end of it, and that last column, and I finally got to see how I was hurting and creating chaos, and how I was that tornado roaring through the lives of people that I would have swore that I loved the most, you know. And I told my sponsor that I don't want to be this person. I was ashamed. I was sick. And he said, you don't have to, you know, let's keep going with the rest of the steps. So we did. And that pink cloud was there. The obsession had been removed after about 30 days, you know, and I got on fire for Alcoholics Anonymous, you know. I started to see the changes that were happening in my life, you know. There's small stories that I don't have enough time to tell, but white light experiences, you know. And one of the biggest things too is I remember getting to the amends, and I got to the amends. My dad was on the never list, because the way my sponsor did it was, who am I willing to do, who's a maybe and who's a never, you know. My dad was a never. And 3.5 years into my sobriety, my sister calls me and says, Dad wants your number. And I say, Dad who? You know, and I'm halfway serious and I'm halfway joking. And she says, Dad, you know. So I talk to my sponsor, and he tells me, just go have a new experience, you know. And I tell him, okay, you know. My sister says, okay, can I give him the number? And I say no. You know, I thought I had healed from a lot of that stuff, you know, and the work's never done, right? We go back and we go back and we go back. And finally, after some more work, you know, I gave my sister the number. My dad came to meet my sister and her kids, which were his grandkids. And I forgot that my sponsor said to go there with no expectations. And so I was like, here's my dad's chance to say sorry, you know, to tell me why he did the things that he did. Because I would always ask my mom about my dad, and she would give me one side of the story. And I would turn and ask him, and he wasn't there. So I took everything my mom said as fact, you know. And what I found out that it wasn't, you know. My mom was an alcoholic addict, and my dad had to leave because he could not sustain watching what she was doing to herself and the kids. And, you know, he had his own reasoning, you know. And little by little, me and my dad started to build a relationship, you know. And we have a relationship to this day, you know, because of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I did not come here to get that, you know. I've had so many big blessings in Alcoholics Anonymous. I have a great, probably the healthiest relationship that I've ever been in, you know. I have friends that I can depend on, and I feel more importantly, I have friends that could depend on me. You know, I've been involved on multiple levels of the service area of Alcoholics Anonymous, DCM, GCR, HNI, all of that stuff. You know, I'm not the type of person that could go to a meeting every couple of weeks and be okay. You know, I need to be submerged in Alcoholics Anonymous, you know, because I have selective amnesia. You know, I forget. I can hear great things from you guys today and be like, yes, that's what I need to do. That's awesome. And I can go home and 15 minutes later I can forget. But what I'll remember is the one thing somebody said to me 10 years ago that's all of a sudden pissing me off, and it's stuck and I can't get it out, you know? So I need that constant reminder every single day of how to do this thing, you know? And I stated that my sobriety date has become the second most important day of my life, you know? And the first most important day of my life was not when I did that fourth step and I had that revelation. You know, it wasn't the day that I got out of sober living. It wasn't the last day that I went to jail for the last time, you know. I am under no delusion, you know, that although today I don't want to drink, the obsession's been removed. I'm putting one foot in front of the other. I don't want to drink. But if I get far enough away from the program, from you guys, from my higher power, I can definitely make decisions that will place me in a situation where alcohol seems like it's the only relief. I need something to take this out of here, you know? And so for that, today is the most important day of my life, you know? And I remember when that clicked, I was like, oh my God, we have a daily reprieve. We do this one day at a time, you know? And things started to make so much sense, you know? And the cool thing about today being the most important day of my life is it's the only day that I'm actually in. You know, it's the only day that I can do something about. You know, us alcoholics, we live in the past and dream about the future, and we have a hard time staying in the present, you know. But because I've been plugged in, because I've said yes to AA request, because I've done inventory, because I followed the book as outlined to the best of my ability, you know, today I experience a happiness, joy, and freedom that I never thought was possible, you know, and I see him shaking the thing. That must mean that it's time. No, you're not trying to shut me up.
Oh, no.
We turned off the timer,
turned off
bro.
The timer. Everybody in the
Everybody
chat
in the
saying,
chat wanted
let
to
him
say,
cook.
let him cook.
Let him
Oh,
cook.
what's up, guys? Oh, that I feel great about that.
Yes.
You know? Like I said, you know, when I leave, I'll leave my number if anybody wants to get in touch with me, you know. But like I said, man, I couldn't, alcoholism and my fear and my worry had taken all of my drive, my ambition. You know, I never wanted a relationship. I never wanted the white picket fence with the 2.5 kids and the car in the driveway. I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to get sober. You know, I didn't want to do any of those things. And today we're talking about purpose, right? I feel like I have a purpose today, you know, and as long as I'm plugged in and I'm connected, I give myself an opportunity to find out what that purpose is, you know, and I hope that you know, I continue to do the work that's going to keep me locked in, so that I can fulfill that. And, you know, and I don't think it's just my purpose. My purpose is selfish. It's my higher power's purpose for me. And just the fact that I have a relationship with a God that I didn't think wanted anything to do with me, you know, I thought that church had set this bar, you know, that I was unable to be. I knew I was never going to be a priest. I knew I was never going to be a pastor. I couldn't do those things. You know, I just didn't have those principles in me. And what I found out was that, including you guys in the chat, no matter how many days you have, don't let anybody tell you different. We all have what it takes to stay sober. You know, I started hearing about the principles about like brotherly love and like faith and perseverance. And I'm like, how do I get those things? How do I get those things? You know, and the program is uncover, discover, discard. Right. And what I found out is through my work with my sponsor, he said, did I ever wake up with not a penny to my name, you know, not knowing how I was going to get loaded or drunk that day, but knew that I was? And I said, a lot of times.
Every day.
Yeah, every day, right? He said, that's faith, right? Did you ever call the guy and was waiting for the meth? Do you know what I mean? I was sitting in the car and he said, I'll be there in 30 minutes. And then you call him and he's like, I'll be there in another 30 minutes. And you call him and he's like, I'll be there in another 30 minutes. And yeah, I'm pissed off, but I'm waiting. You know, you had perseverance to sit there to get what you wanted. right? When I'm going to date myself, but when it was your homie's turn to put 5 on it, you know what I mean? And they didn't have the money and they said, don't worry, I'll get you next week. And you said, no, I got you. And they're like, all right, well, I'll pay you back. No, this one's on me. Don't worry about it. Don't trip. You know, that's brotherly love, right? And the book talks about like our instincts gone astray and those kind of things. We have everything that it takes to stay sober. I've just been misusing those in the wrong direction for selfish reasons, you know? And because of the program I've been able to uncover, discover, discard, get in touch with my higher power, get on this daily reprieve. And those things seem to be driven more towards a purpose of helping others than it's ever been, you know? And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm still sober today, you know, coming up on 10 years, no fronts, you know, but I couldn't put 10 minutes, 10 hours together before, you know, and just to be experiencing something like this, you know what I mean? And not having to talk to somebody through a jail phone and a piece of glass in front of me is amazing, you know? And with that, anybody out there, if you're here, congratulations. You know, they say don't leave before the miracle happens. If you're here, the miracle's already happening to you. Stay close, stay diligent, and most of all, if nobody's told you that they love you today, believe me, I love you. So thanks, guys.
Awesome, man.
So good.
Look at all
at all the
claps.
Claps.
That was awesome.
Yeah, the chat was going off saying.
We turned
I mean,
the
you saw-
timer off at
yeah.
like 3 minutes. They had 3 minutes left.
I'm long-winded anyways.
Yeah. So it
Shoot,
was,
this group knows that because so are me and him.
yeah. Sometimes it's 20 minutes just to get the speaker rolling.
Exactly. That's why I did it. See, there was a reason for me not to speak.
Okay.
You took it was perfect. See,
See, if you want her to be quiet, just bring me around.
there you
Yeah,
go. That's it.
come every day then, bro, because
Don't be like that.
huh?
That's messed up. Don't let him do me like that, Emily.
Look at Sylvia Land already. Sylvia Land. Is that like Disneyland or I've said that before, and then she gets on and she says no, it's not Disneyland. Yeah, man. Your whole story before we get into the everybody talking, literally like I could just relate to, you know, and that's what I think is so important about people when they speak. Like you talked about how you felt even before you ever got drunk or loaded, and like that's exactly how I felt, and that's probably exactly how every single one of us feels before we ever pick up. Like I knew there was something not right with me before, and then for me, you know, it was like I did that drug and that was the big lie. It was like it lied to me and said, oh, this is how you're supposed to feel,
Right.
and now you fit in, and you know, and then it went on for years.
And then it wears off, and then you get those feelings back.
Yeah.
And eventually you still keep doing it, and then it doesn't take those feelings away.
Exactly.
Which is the
And then it's
what
you're
it
like
puts back on you.
isolated like a
That's
mofo
very
in
good.
straight misery.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I really enjoyed that. So thanks for coming
I
down.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed. Like, there's so many little nuggets I felt like that I hadn't heard yet. Or
Well, the
before.
uncover, discover,
haven't
and
heard that.
discard. I've never heard
Me
that.
neither. That was a
Oh,
fucking
wow.
nugget.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that the most important day is today. I haven't heard that one either. And I think that is so true because,
I believe
least-
that too. 110%.
well, that's one where we always say all the time too, is like that's where God is.
God's
now.
right here,
Right
right
here.
now.
Yeah.
Period. That's it.
But my brain likes to go into the past, whether good, bad, or indifferent, and then trip about the future. So I like that. And then I really loved that you made it really apparent, because I think that it's so easy, because I've done it before, and I know that Chad has too, and I can speak for Chad. We have a forgetter, and like it's so imperative for us to stay close and stay tight and stay diligent with what we're doing, and to direct all of the things that we used to do when we were out running and gunning, and just like guide into what we're doing today with like programming and staying connected, because I don't feel like picking up. I don't feel like drinking. I don't feel like in any of those things today, but I do know, because it's been there before, of slowly dipping away,
Right.
that those actions or put myself in situations or just being messy with just relationships or business or whatever it may be, So I just like I loved your share. It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
I heard a speaker talk about that one time, and he talks about the boat going 1 degree off
Sure,
course,
sure.
right? And his goal is to go straight
Yeah.
to the island, and you go 1 degree off, and by the time you realize it, you're so far away from where you need to be, and it seems like it's impossible to
Right.
get back. You know, so all those little things where it's like, oh, I don't want to do this commitment today. I don't want to go to this meeting. Like, I'm not gonna do my prayer meditation. You know, I'm not gonna answer the sponsee's phone call.
I don't want to lead that meeting.
I don't want to lead that meeting. I don't want to drive the San Juan Capistrano.
Right,
You know,
right.
all of those things is.
I don't
So
want to leave
true.
San Juan Capistrano.
Right.
Yeah, that too.
So
All of
true.
those things play for me personally play into staying on
Yeah.
on my course. You know, and sometimes it's hard. You know, you
For
feel
sure.
like you don't want to do it. You know, but we have a great community that we get to lean on in those times. You know, I'm super appreciative of that for sure.
I love
Yeah.
it. So good.
Yeah, and I just close with the we get a daily reprieve, man. That's the one thing. Like, I actually go to a different 12-step program, but man, the literature of Alcoholics Anonymous, the spiritual part of Alcoholics Anonymous, is so incredible, man. And it's like that's all we have, and that's why today's the most important day, man. We only have today. We just get a daily reprieve based on our spiritual maintenance.
Right.
All
You
those
know?
damn cliches just for today.
Just for today.
But I had to get some type of spirituality
Yes.
in order to maintain it.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I think going through the steps helped me because I was a figure outer. You know, I was always gonna figure it out, and I just was able to shut up and follow somebody's direction and stop trying to get. And the more I stopped trying to get, the more that I got. You know, the more those things just developed on their own. So I know that that's sometimes a hard struggle for people is the spiritual side of the program. you
For
know.
sure.
Emily.
Yeah.
My mom said she requested to join the Zoom, but nobody accepted her.
Ooh.
You did? Is she on there now?
Ooh.
Well, it was probably a while
Ooh.
ago. I just saw my text right now.
Let's open it up.
Is Penny 3 there? Is
Let's see.
Sylvia Land?
Let's see if Penny 3's here. Miss Penny.
So open it up, Sylvia.
My parents aren't in here either. Where are they?
Okay. Hi, Sylvia Alcoholic.
Hi, Sylvia. Hey, girl.
Hey, what's up, Matt?
What's going on?
yeah, your mom's there.
You know, I've heard your story a couple times, but I don't think I heard it like this, man. You had like a lot of good things, and the one good thing I heard was my drinking got in the way of my drinking.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part right there where my drinking, like, I would be so fucked up by the time we hit the bar. I'd be kicked out, like, within the first 50 minutes and ruin the whole night.
Yeah.
Like, ruin the whole night. And everybody would like, what the fuck, Sylvia? And I'd be end up sleeping in the car and ruining my whole, it's like, it got to that point. And, you know, when you talked about, like, how the chaos that we lived in, it was it was normalized for us. And I think that's where I struggle the most is, living sober, like, because that life was so normal to me. Learning how to live sober, you would think would be so simple, right? You would think it'd be so simple to be sober, and it's not. It's not. And I'm sober and I'm working my ass off, and but it's so hard to embrace the good things that have happened and not ignore all the bad things that I like, all the wreckage that I put my kids through and shit. Cause Jacob's in sobriety right now, but I have to stop and turn my thinking around and be grateful that he's in sober living. Like, stop thinking about like him relapsing or thinking about all this extra shit or me being a fucked up mom. That's why he's there. Like, I literally have to stop that and rewire my whole thinking. And that's because of this program. That's because of these meetings. Like, that's how I survive through everything. Like his woman Diva, like, I'm not even her sponsee, but I jump into her family. I jump into her family because it's the place where I feel safe. Like, I feel safe in that group because, like, when I've had friends throughout my whole life and stuff, I always had trust issues because someone always ended up burning me for something.
Mm.
Somebody ended up always fucking me over, so I always had my guard up. But like now, I don't have to live like that anymore. You know, I don't have to live where I gotta hide my shit from my, so they wouldn't steal my shit or my drugs or anything. Because it was never enough for everybody, right? But like, it's just retraining your way of thinking. But I mean, I honestly am blessed for everything that I've accomplished and what's followed me, here. So Matt, I love you so much. That was an awesome lead, and everybody, I love you too. Have a good night.
We love
Thanks,
you.
Sylvia. Love you too.
Joe B.
That was quick. What's going on, guys? Joe, alcoholic. I don't know the speaker's name, but you were fantastic, bro. Matt, nice to meet you, Matt.
Nice to
Thanks
meet you too, Joe.
for sharing, bro. That was really good. I really liked what you said. Well, first of all, I have a sister that's a year and a half apart as well. She don't have the disease like me, so I still can't figure out why I got it. I just got it. It is what it is. I learned how to live with it. I'm grateful for it too, because it got me close to God. Without it, I would have thought I could control my own life. I would have never sought him out. Glad I did though. You said something that really touched home. As soon as I allowed someone to get close, like I couldn't let them get close. I had to leave at that point, right? Always, man, my relationships were never more than like 2 months or like 5 dates. For real, I never had a long relationship. I never let anyone get to know me. Everyone even friends, like everyone I talked to was a door marked exit, you know? Like I never stayed close with family. I never stayed close with any girl that was like a referral, for lack of a better term, like a hookup. Like, hey, I got a friend. I think she'd be great for you. Never. I never liked those because I knew I needed an exit because I knew I could only lie for a certain amount of time. Right? Now it's different. Now it's more of I don't let everyone have access to me as opposed to, knowing I'm going to dip. I don't plan on dipping. So I'm not going to expose myself to everybody. They also have to fit my sex ideal. I go back to my fourth step and I look at all that sort of stuff. And you could be attractive and really cool, man. But if you don't fit it, it's not for me, That's hard too. Someone said living sober. It's not easy to live sober, but it's extremely rewarding. It could become very lonely too. But it's the right move. It's the right decision. So if you feel like you're getting that way and you're getting lonely and things are happening and you don't feel too good about it, my recommendation is do some sort of service. Get out of self, right? That third step prayer is very important. And I heard today at a meeting, I didn't want to leave my house today. I went to a meeting in Jersey because I made a commitment. And I heard this again, and it's great. Self is not me. Self is a construct I've been driven by. The image, I got to portray this person that I can't have people think I'm this way when I'm really this way. It's fucking exhausting. It's exhausting, man. So just getting to be yourself, living in 10, 11, and 12, believing in God and not they say a God of your understanding, but if I had to write a God of my understanding, there'd be too many things I would get away with. I'd let myself get away with because I'm making up my own God. So I had to go with the OG, right? Jesus. That's my God. And the stuff he taught, those 10 commandments and stuff like that. I followed that. And life is really good because of it. I can't have no shortcuts. I can't have no sugarcoating. I can't have no co-signing my behavior. It's either he's everything or he's nothing. I choose to live like he's everything. And I'm out of time, guys. Thank you. That's all I got. Good job, bro. It was really, really good. Thank you.
We love you, Joe. And shout out to Miss Penny and my parents because they're both on here.
They are? Oh, I see her parents. Yeah, there they are. There they are.
My dad's getting shunned.
How come your mom's not smiling?
I have no idea. We're probably
she
muted.
Looks really serious. Huh?
We're probably muted. She looks like so confused. Are you okay, Mom?
Is
Mom, give me a thumbs up. Are you good? Is Dad holding you hostage?
She doesn't think you're funny tonight.
At all. She doesn't whatsoever. Cool.
That's okay.
Matt. Cheer up.
Cheer up the parents.
Yeah.
Matt?
Matt?
Are you there? Oh, he's not unmuted.
Oh,
Oh, there he goes.
There we go.
there we go.
I think I clicked too fast and it got rid of the notice before I could unmute myself. But what's everybody up? Matt, grateful recovering addict. And Matt. Definitely good share, bro. Definitely good share. The biggest thing that you hit that resonated with me from you was the wearing of the masks. I was real good at that. It really didn't matter where I went. I made sure I fit in. I would have a day job where I'd have times where I'd go sit in a boardroom with millionaires at Goodyear doing presentations. And that very same night, I'm sitting in a basement in Brooklyn with pistols, scales, and piles of powder. And I fit in real well in both places. And I was real comfortable with that. I actually took some type of pride in that for a long time. I was like, yeah, I can go wherever I want to go. I'm comfortable. I'm gonna be good. Don't matter where I'm at. I'm gonna fit in. I don't want that person anymore today. Not at all. Today, I'm happy that if you don't like me for who I am, then that's your problem. I don't do things to try to make people like me today. The only person I'm worried about liking and loving me today is God, and that person in the mirror, making sure I love myself. And that's one of the beautiful things that sobriety has brought for me, man. And recovery and not just putting down the substances, because as hard as it was, that was the easy part. But learning to love me and learning to be comfortable with myself and being who I am and not worrying about what other people feel is definitely much more of a relief than walking around and wearing masks. And because and sobriety isn't easy, man. It doesn't hand you a new life. It hands you a shovel and says start digging your way out. And you just keep rebuilding yourself from the ground up one day at a time. And I love every bit of it. I really do. And I'm probably the happiest I've ever been in my life. And it's amazing. And I owe it all to God and all to the recovery, for sure. And everybody here, man, keep going. Don't give up on yourself. Do you, whatever you're doing for recovery, keep doing. And make sure you're pleasing God and make sure you're pleasing yourself. And remember that this world is a better place with you in it. That's it. Love you guys.
We love you, Matt.
I'm trying to figure out who has their hand up. Is it Michael or Wendy? I think it's Michael, because
No,
Wendy
we-
always
No,
Wendy
Michael-
puts
Michael-
up the Wendy
Michael's-
puts up the black hand. She
Wendy
puts up
does.
The,
Michael
it's-
doesn't.
Michael doesn't.
Michael tries to play games over here.
Yeah.
Look at that, y'all are so
We-
Happy birthday to Wendy.
Happy birthday, Wendy. Sorry, Michael.
all good. It's all love, y'all. Fucking good shit, Matt. Fucking a wonderful sponsor, you know that.
Love you, brother.
Mm.
Almost done with my other fourth step that we need to go over. Having to come back to do this shit and like having a sponsor like you that really lives this shit and lives life on life's terms and have been a great example, not only like in the program, but in like how to conduct myself in a healthy relationship. Like you've also been an example there as well. And it's like to see someone who has been through the shit that you've been through, and like we have some similarities as far as the come up. But it's definitely like someone who like really puts the program to me in a way that I understand it, and I don't even have an excuse as to like, oh, I don't have somebody who can relate to me or knows what I'm going through. Like, I can't bullshit myself because once we already went through the steps the one time, And obviously, it's a continuous process forever. But I can always be like, okay, now I got to do another 4 step. It's been over 2 years now. I think it's now time to go over another step because there's some new resentments, maybe some resentments that are been kind of lingering over from the last time that I maybe wasn't as thorough about. But I mean, you embody what this program is about. You do this shit, and I mean, it's a reason that you have the life that you have today, and you're continuing to make progress in all areas. And like, it's amazing to see, and it's amazing. I'm grateful to be able to call you brother, and love you, man. Fucking I think,
Wakanda forever.
huh?
I said Wakanda forever. I had to do that. Had to.
Wakanda forever, man. Fucking, they got me for my like first year. They got me the had a Wakanda themed party, a Black Panther themed party. My first year. It was awesome. Fucking yeah, man. Grateful for you and love you and keep on pushing. I have that step written down, all of the shit by the end of the week, and that is all.
All right, get on it. Love you, Wendy.
Oh, I'm gonna share. Don't worry, I love you too.
Oh, good. That's enough out of Michael.
Yeah. I'm getting right in the screen. Oh man, thank you so much for your share and just again, I've heard your story numerous times. I've heard you speak 45 minutes, and every time I hear something different, I hear something new. And the part about when it stopped working and your alcohol became unpredictable, the not knowing. And I've heard it before. I've heard you talk about the different balls and all that stuff, but I don't know why it hit me tonight, right? Like we hear what we need to hear in the moment when we're supposed to hear it. And I think in my life today, I still try to look for outside issues to fix inside shit, right? Like it's no longer about the drugs and alcohol. It's now about the behavior. It's about the thinking. It's about so much more. It's about this life that I'm living, and really getting down to what am I trying to fill? What is the void? And for me, it's always the connection. It's the connection with you. It's the connection with God. It's the connection with myself, right? And so when shit doesn't start working for me, I know it's because I've lost connection somewhere. And so it's like, oh, what do I need to reconnect with? And so I try to, figure it out. I heard it. I heard what I needed to hear. And so I'm grateful for that. Yeah, life is a little bit wonky, and had my beautiful birthday, and that was kind of cool, celebrating my birthday. I have never felt so much love from so many people, and really just was able to accept it, right? I've always stiff-armed it. I've always ran from it. I've always, I don't know, avoid just the negative feelings. I avoid the positive too, right? Because I don't know how to do it. And so I have felt so much love, and it's been beautiful, and it makes me uncomfortable, and I'm okay being uncomfortable because I know I'm growing. And so, life is wonky, and I guess that's what it's supposed to be. So I appreciate you and, the service that you do, and your beautiful queen sitting over there across from you. Your guys' love and friendship mean the world to me. I'm grateful to be welcomed into your guys' life. So I love you guys.
Love you, Wendy.
We love you guys.
Well, how did you know she was here? Well,
She
doesn't
knows.
matter. I was just
I'm
just
sure
saying
wherever
it
he
for-
is, she is.
You have her location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half the city of Covina.
Right,
Wow.
right.
iPhone number 2.
Hey guys, thanks for having this. Can you hear me?
Yep.
My name's Philip, alcoholic. I live on Kauai. Thank you guys for your podcast and everything and your IG stuff. I got linked up, and my sobriety date is 2019, April 7th. Tried to get sober in 2010 and couldn't do that. I ended up going to treatment, Hope by the Sea. I believe I met you there, Chad.
Yeah.
And yeah, that changed my life. I always judged the rooms, and the first meeting I went to, I reconnected with God and like felt the presence of God for the first time in like a lot of years. So, yeah, I've always carried that with me. And I relapsed a lot coming out. So, it took me 8 years to get coming up on 7 years in April.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm just grateful for this program. I liked what you talked about. The work never stops. You know, for so long I was like on the fence, you know, and like relapse owns the fence. So I might be giving it 99%, but that 1% that I had that door cracked open would take me out every time. And I'm grateful that I locked in, went to jail, did some time. I got divorced at 1 year sober. I didn't use over that. Back with her, got the kids back. You know, we're all good. Super stoked. And I'm just locked in. You know, my sponsor tells me to trust God, clean house, and help others. And I heard about filling the void. You know, if I can fill the void with anything, and I need to fill it with God in the program. So that's what I do. I hit a meeting this morning, and I'm stoked to be on here. I'm stoked that I found this Zoom meeting. I hadn't hit one since the pandemic or the scamdemic. So
Yes.
I'm super stoked. Yeah. And yeah, I think when I met you, Chad, I think you were coming off a bender too.
Oh yeah.
And the boy, I think you rolled up in a sick like Mercedes. I was like, "Oh, how's that car?" They're like, "Oh, that's Chad. He's on a good one." And I was like, "Ah, poor guy," because I was just, you know, my
What year?
cover was
Because I've been clean. What year were you here?
2011. It was
Oh
maybe,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure that was happening.
yeah. So I
He's
met your
like, wait a
parents
minute,
too.
I've been
And,
sober for a minute. I've been clean and sober for a
but
while now.
yeah, super stoked you're clean and sober. And yeah, it's radical. This is a gnarly journey. My first sponsor, like, you know, he's missing on Maui. Like, you know, he relapsed and he's gone. You know, I got a bed in there because a guy tried to run across a freeway after he relapsed and he got hit by a car. And the door don't keep revolving sometimes. And you know, I'm a lifeguard here on Kauai, and I'm super grateful. I deal with a lot of, you know, death and heavy shit, and I got the tools to deal with it. And yeah, I'll shut my mouth. I'm super stoked to be on here, and thanks for having me.
I'm so happy you shared.
Yeah,
tonight.
I'm happy you shared too,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Thanks for.
awesome.
I just thought about us having loaded doppelgangers out there, right? Because you're like, when did you see me? You know, I'm just picturing like we have like these alternate
Sure.
versions of ourselves out
Yeah.
there that are just like.
I was just
that,
trying to figure
right?
out because, like, you know, there's like I've been my how my story goes is you know, my dad and I started Hope by the Sea back in 2002, and I got loaded as an owner of a treatment center, you know, and it was a painful road coming back, you know, and it was a long struggle. I'd get a little bit of time. I was in and out of the rooms. I couldn't get it, man. I couldn't get it. And like I said in the beginning, like I had completely given up all hope and wasn't coming back, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, and thankfully, like God had a different plan for my life, you know, and this plan has been like crazy. And I, you know, cause I never thought I would be doing a podcast. My number one fear in life is public speaking, and I public speak now. So like, you know, God has a funny sense of humor as well. And you know, and then losing my son-in-law to it's just like I feel like I have such a deeper understanding of the pain that we go through and the suffering that we go through. And you know, my purpose is just to go into the fire and help pull another person out.
That's right.
You know, to offer that person that's hopeless some hope that like we can do this. You know, that's the real thing. It's like, you know, and that's what I love about like the program, One Addict Helping Another, is it's without parallel. You know, it's like we're the only ones that can really, if you don't know, if you haven't been there, how can you go in there and grab the person?
I
You know?
My particular experience, that was where other things had failed me, is because everybody told me what I needed to do, and I can like literally conceptualize it, and I understand that, you know, these things make sense. But Alcoholics Anonymous showed me what to do. Somebody grabbed my hand literally
and said, "Let's go,"
and said, "Let's go." You know, and I know Michael said a bunch of great things about me. Do you know what I mean? But I don't do those things on my own. They're not of me. I'm doing those things because I watched somebody before me do those things, and they literally taught me what to do. And so I'm just riding the coattails of the people that I followed into Alcoholics Anonymous, you know. And I think he has and he's doing, and I think we're all that's our goal, you know, is just continue to help the next suffering alcoholic addict up out and show them that, hey, it's possible for you.
Yep.
You know, so
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Zamzow. We're gonna end with we got Jesse Kelly Ray. I just so everybody knows the meeting normally ends at 7, but we never ended at 7.
my bad,
because-
y'all.
No, it's
Oh no,
Kelly.
it's not. It's,
We just
it's-
don't. We wait until the hands are done, and that's when it actually ends. I know some of y'all need to go to bed, and it's
Because
okay.
now Chad understands how you feel because he was on the East Coast. He feels you, Julian. He knows.
Julian, I was so tired last
Now
week.
he understands what it is. Our meeting only goes
It's
till
fucking
7.
10 o'clock on the East
Exactly.
Coast right now. You know, I don't know how y'all do it. But yeah, so, but I do want to just say this one last thing. If you do leave, you're going to miss out on something that no other meeting in the entire universe does. So I'm going to say that now, and I'm going to shut up, and I won't talk again until Kelly Ray is done.
Yes. Chuck, take us away.
All right. I'm an alcoholic. My name's Chuck. You know, I'm grateful I woke up today instead of coming to. And Matt, I was driving on my way home. I just got home, and so I can get on here and listen a little bit better. And you know, God spoke to me through your share tonight, and a lot of great gems were dropped in there. And the one thing that you said specifically was, "Oh, it was always the guy looking outside, looking in," and that was me too. I was always that guy, always looking from the outside and trying to figure out, because I was a chameleon. I could always mix in with the crowds and get in, but I was always trying to figure out a one-up way to do what I can do to stay where I'm at. You know, I was the kid too that the mom said, "Oh, he's a great kid. He's all this," and I'm like, man, they're thinking of me like that. I was still, mischievous. I was doing the bad things, and you know, alcohol got a hold of me, and it had that stranglehold. And grateful, over 17 half of the years, of not having no drink and not thinking about it. You know, that daily reprieve you talked about too. I have to have that daily reprieve. Third step prayer heard talked about tonight. But the other thing is the guy that I look at in the mirror every morning. That's the guy that I'm happy today with. The guy then, I was always doing the foxhole prayers of what did you do and everything else and calling everybody. And I'm grateful I don't have to look at that stuff today. And the cliches in the wall, I love those cliches. Because I'm grateful for those old goats that when I first walked back in, they took me in right in their arms and with love and said, "Hey, we know that things are not great because that's why you're in here." And they took me in, and I hung on their coattails too. And I still hang on the coattails today on some guys that are still around because they still help me out. Just like my buddy Bob, I talked today on the phone. We didn't talk recovery. We just talked about life. And that one thing about staying in today is the thing that I was always elusive with this guy. I was always worried about the future and always worried about the past. But I'm grateful that I had a great sponsor in the beginning that taught me how to stay in today and worry about the 24 hours. Keep giving away because I got to keep giving away because, I can't keep it. And great share tonight. That's all I got.
Thanks, Chuck. We love you. Damaris? I feel like I messed up her name.
Damaris.
Damaris. That's
yeah,
right.
You get it right. Yeah. Damaris, Grateful Alcoholic. Thank you guys for having this podcast. Matt, man, you were cooking up there. Cooking, man. Thank God, man. Thank God you got sober when you did. You did say so many great things in there, and it's so hard to pinpoint because I wish I would have had like a pen and pad. I just didn't want to move because I didn't want to miss anything, But I suffer from a lot of things, and CRS is one of them because I can't remember shit. But I do remember that I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful that I'm an alcoholic. And somebody else said it too. Like when you said my alcohol got in the way of my alcohol using, my alcohol drinking got in the way of my heroin using, and I couldn't have that, And that's when I knew, like, I love heroin because it brought me to my knees, it really did. And all that pain that I went through, it made me a believer, but it made me come in these rooms and it made me be like, yeah, like this is where I need to be. Like, because I always knew that there was a different way of living life. I just didn't know how to obtain it. I didn't know how people were walking around here like being so happy and so content with life and loving God, you know. And I was living in this fucking hellhole, and I was like, I don't know how to get out. Like, this can't be real. This can't be real life. And it wasn't until I came into these rooms, you know, and I was like, all right, God, like, you do this thing. And he's like, duh, I've been waiting for you to hand it over to me. Let me do my job, you know. And it wasn't until I allowed that higher power to start driving in my life was when everything just started to change. And it's so beautiful today, you know. I have a family today, man. They're like the family I was born into, unfortunately, they're not there for me. They're not a good support system. So I get it when you were talking about your dad, you know, setting those proper boundaries. Like, that's important. Like, I got sober, I didn't get stupid. You know what I mean? I choose to respect myself more, respect my program more, just respect my life more today. I don't want to die today, you know, and for the longest time I did. And I'm grateful that I don't have to live that way anymore. Um, this program is so beautiful. It really is, man. You just got to give yourself a chance, you know. God willing, if I stay on this path next month, I'll have 7 years, and 3/13/19 is my one and only sober date. I thank God every single day for that, you know. And I don't say that to be like, I did it, you know, one time. I just say that because if you're on this path and this is your first time, it can be your last, you know. But that choice is yours. That choice is yours. Thank you for letting me share. Thank you for having this. I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Damaris.
Damaris.
I just remember her saying it last time. I'm pretty proud of myself for that one. I am, because like I'm really bad at names and stuff.
Thomas is gonna.
Yeah,
drop off,
we're gonna hit Jesse.
and then Kelly will bring us out.
Jesse's got a child with him.
Hey guys,
Blessings.
Look at that
say
little
say
guy.
hi, buddy. You probably can't hear him. I have my headphones in,
Ah.
but I'm Jesse. I'm an addict, alcoholic, overthinker, everything, all of them. I'll make it quick. Uh, Matt, amazing share. Thank you. Dude, what you said about staying in today, right? We hear it a million different ways, but today is the most important day of my life. I'm stealing that. Let me say it two more times to make it mine. Today is the most important day of my life. Today is the most important day of my life. Because that right there, like, it brought me into the now. And that's exactly what I needed. Hold on, buddy. Don't do that. I mean, that's just, and I think that's my sign. But, and thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being a part of my recovery. Remember, there's no one right way to recover. So, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And Joe B, dude, I gotta message you because what you said, tried to write it down, wasn't quick enough. Like, I'll get at you, man. But thank you guys for an amazing meeting.
What? Joe B
Have a
said
good
something
night.
Jesse.
profound?
Yeah.
Oh.
Kelly, bring us on
Kelly
home.
Ray.
I will try my best. Now I feel a lot of expectations. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I got some headphones at work now. But, Matt, thank you for sharing a lot of relatable topics. The masks, the drinking getting in the way of the drinking, but then I graduated to cocaine and I didn't learn my lesson, you know. So that was another story for another time, and kind of did that to kind of ease my anxiety and didn't really want to face a lot of um my shit that I had going on from the military. So was trying just to put a band-aid on everything that was me. And didn't know how to live with the uncomfortability of my PTSD and my demons and everything. But went to rehab, got clean, and now in 10 days, I'll be 11 months sober.
Heck yeah.
So, no, you can't hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
I said
So, I mean,
heck.
I
I said
can't.
heck yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't fucking believe it, guys. Like, it's a miracle in itself for me, you know? because I have a twin sister, and she drinks, but she says she doesn't have a problem. Um, she drinks pretty much like on the weekends only, but she says it's not a problem for her. My dad drinks. Everyone in my household drinks except for me now. So I'm the only one who doesn't drink now because I know that I can't just have one. I gotta have the whole damn thing, and I'm gonna clean out the whole damn fucking fridge. If the whole fridge is full of beer, I'm gonna clean that whole bad boy out. It's gonna come home with me, you know. So I know that I can't, and that's okay. Um, at least I know that my new niece will never have a tia that she'll never see drunk, hopefully, and she'll never see a tia that will have white residue coming out of her nose or runny nose because she's full of coke in her system, sneaking off to the bathroom every 10, 15 minutes because it wore off. You know, somebody that's going to be present for her. I'm getting my sacraments done. That's going to be completed in April, so I'll be a full-fledged Catholic, so I can go and get my communion and all that stuff. So I'm really excited. I'm really, really, really excited. The timing couldn't be more divine, if you ask me. But I'll go ahead and leave you guys with just seek God first, and the rest will follow. So, bye, guys.
Amen.
Awesome. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Kelly.
much, Kelly. Matt, again, thank you for an incredible,
Thank you guys for having me.
really
super honored to be here.
amazing meeting. It was so good.
Also, drop your IG handle in the chat right now if you want to be added to our group chat on IG.
Yeah. Do it quickly, though, because we're about to end this thing.
Yep.
This is that time of the meeting
Yes.
where we get everybody to turn on their cameras, because you all know that we are the only meeting in the entire universe, Zoom meeting,
Dad, this is your time to shine, so get ready.
that dances out. That I know of, guys. If you guys know of any other meeting on Zoom in this universe that dances out, please, let me know about it, and
Chuck already knows. Lie to him, Chad.
I'll show up to the meeting.
My dad's already dancing, so let's.
Matt's
let's hit it.
dancing. All right, everybody,
Jillian
get your hands up in the air. Let's go. Let's go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. See you guys all next
We
week.
love you guys. Keep
Peace,
coming
be safe.
back.
Recordings.